morning, it's 7th of August 2016. This is Sylvia Shivamurthy and you're listening to the newspaper reviews on www.ardavaneng.com. Let's now look at the paper highlights from today's newspapers. The main highlight in Sunday Times says, Laws delays, Aegis Department to be restructured. A committee of ministers and parliamentarians will probe delays at the Attorney General's department and the Legal Draftsman's office. The Cabinet of Ministers have decided. Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa told the Sunday Times yesterday that hundreds of cases were delayed and more were piling up. We want to ensure that the Attorney General's department expedites such cases so that within 2 to 3 weeks the cases will be before courts, he said. Another highlight says, Indians here for ETCA talks on Tuesday. Preliminary talks between India and Sri Lanka on the Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement will begin on Tuesday with an visiting Indian delegation coming here for the purpose. The delegation, headed by the Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry of India, will hold talks with the Sri Lankan counterparts to discuss the proposed draft. The highlight in the middle says, Better late than never. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya gave his assent to the Right to Information Act No. 12 of 2016 this week, following his return from Singapore and a long delay in transaction since Parliament unanimously passed the bill 2 months ago. The delay in his signing the bill into law raised concerns. The Freedom of Information Bill was first presented to Parliament in 2004, but was never passed due to the early dissolution of that Parliament. Mr. Jayasuriya then brought that bill as a private member's bill under his name as opposition MP, but the then government refused to discuss it. The law provides for all Sri Lankan citizens to have access to official government information henceforth. Sri Lanka becomes the 108th country in the world to have a national RTI law. And the highlight at the bottom says, Spot tenders for coal. Lanka saves 1.1 billion rupees. The Power and Energy Minister's initiative to introduce spot tenders for the procurement of coal has resulted in a saving of nearly $7.6 million compared with the coal purchase through long-term tenders, an independent committee has found. The decision to implement a mix of procurement through long-term and spot tenders is a good formula for coal purchasers, conclude the report of the independent committee appointed by the Minister of Power and Renewable Energy to study coal procurement for the Lak Vijaya coal power plant at Nuraichole. Let's now move to the paper highlights in Sunday Observer. The main highlight says, Consolidated plan to ease Colombo traffic. With the construction of the port city to begin shortly, a consolidated plan is being drawn to avoid traffic congestion to and from Colombo's central business area. Plans are afoot for a bridge over the New Kalani Bridge along with the elevated port access road. According to the Supplementary Environment Report of the Port City, the project will be funded via a Special Economic Partnership loan from the Government of Japan JICA. Feasibility studies for the new bridge were completed in August 2013 and the loan agreement with JICA was signed on March 28, 2014. There's another highlight which says, New NIE Council members nominated. Education Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam nominated new members to the National Institute of Education Council, which he dissolved in a sudden move 2 weeks ago, claiming infighting and lack of progress. Director General NIE Dr. Jayanthi Gunasekara told the Sunday Observer the Minister Karyavasam had nominated members but that she was awaiting consent letters from the nominees to finalize appointments. The highlight in the middle says, PUC grants conditional approval for CEB's plan. While environmental regulator of the power sector have raised serious concerns over the new inclusions, the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has granted conditional approval for an interim generation plan submitted by the Ceylon Electricity Board. And the highlight at the bottom says, Expulsion for SLF peers evading punishment. Petroleum Resources Development Minister Chandima Veerakodi said if anyone failed to abide by the SLFP disciplinary committee decision, he or she could be immediately removed from the party membership. Let's now look at the paper highlights in Ceylon today. The main highlight says, China's #2 bank here soon. The Bank of China, the 5th largest bank in the world by market capitalization and the 2nd largest overall lender in China, will be established in Colombo to operate as its South Asian headquarters. The Bank of China is also the most globally active of all China's banks and is China's most internationalized and diversified bank. The highlight in the middle says, 1978 Constitution changed beyond recognition. There's another highlight which says, Wiggy on dirty mission as PM Ranil plans to seal deal with China. And the highlight at the bottom says, Cry for relief. The term ex-LTTE cadre is a taboo in northern and eastern provinces, as most of the former liberation tigers of Tamil Eelam cadres have been rehabilitated 4 to 5 years ago. That's all for today's newspaper highlights, and we'll get back to you with more news tomorrow. Thank you.